Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night.
Hey everybody, and welcome into another edition. Wow, that was impressive. Can we talk about that real quick? What was that? What'd you have for breakfast, Kyle?
I actually made myself this delicious little breakfast sandwich with some egg, cheese. I didn't have turkey. That's what I was going for. I think it was like a chicken, and then I put a little salami on there, give it a little kick.
Nobody cares. Let's move on, please, for the love.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, welcome into another episode of the Just Cuz Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm joined, as always, by Kyle Fisher.
What's up?
The burp man over there.
Wow, where'd you get that nickname?
Blake.
The toilet store. Hey guys,
The burp man.
I would like a better introduction than that, please. You need to do better.
The bodacious burper.
No, for me.
My lovable loser brother Blake.
Your lovable winner of the entire league / our esteemed commissioner, Blake. Hello, everybody, my loyal subjects.
I feel like Blake deserves an asterisk almost as much as the Rams in NFC Championship.
I don't really know what an asterisk is, but I do know what an asterisk is, and
Blake,
yeah,
speech
I don't think that
impediments
applies.
are a disorder that shouldn't be made fun of, okay?
Well,
Millions of people suffer every day.
Blake is.
It's a real issue.
So yes, Blake is the champion, and this is how I feel.
No!
Yes.
Wow.
So Michael Scott said it best. No, it can't be possible. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me in my life. Which, say what you will, but it's a big deal.
I'm happy that I'm the
It
one
is a really
to cause
big deal.
it for you. So
Man, y'all are getting me excited for next season. Our production quality is like through the roof now.
as if
No.
anyone is even listening.
Yeah, we have drops
Yeah,
and
that's
everything. All right. Well, guys, let's jump into it. So, what is one thing you learned from 2018?
Kyle, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I've learned that a couple, one or two good, or from maybe a different perspective that's not Blake's, bad trades can determine a champion.
Yeah. So, what was one example that you can think of?
Well, in a
This
series
year,
of trades,
in case it wasn't
in
clear.
a series of trades, Blake turned AJ Green into what was it? Was it like
Christian McCaffrey
and Julio Jones? Yeah, that right there is enough to win you a championship.
Yes.
Which
But then
he
I
did.
will point out that another trade that it looked like I won, where I got AB and Kareem Hunt, ended up not looking so good for me later. So,
Yes, and it looked very good for me.
but guess what?
Because it
How
helped
many
me
points
get
did
into the
Antonio Brown
playoffs.
have in championship week, Matt?
And honestly,
Well, that's
Kareem-
not
Kareem
important.
Hunt might have played.
Because I wouldn't have made it.
No joke, Kareem Hunt might have played the same amount of games as Sony Michel for after that trade for both of y'all.
That's very true.
So
But
I'm not
Sony
so sure
Michel
it
played
was
at
clear.
more important times.
Yeah, I feel like
in
he
the
didn't
playoffs.
do that much until the actual NFL playoffs when he did light it up. But
Yeah. He was good.
Right.
I think he was good in week 15
Right.
or 16. He had a big week, but yeah. Anyways, what I learned this year is that it's a common saying that you don't win your league at the draft, but I am living, breathing proof that you can't lose it either. Here is my draft, and prepare to mock me along the way. First round, Antonio Brown, solid. Traded him and then got him back, and he won me the league.
wait,
Second round.
I'm just asking because you said that was so solid. Did he have the most amount of receptions and yards on his team at the receiving position?
No, but he was at least top 10 receiver overall in the year, and he
Oh,
won me a championship, so I don't even care. And after I traded for him, he started going off again. So I bought him pretty low for Matt. Thank you, Matt. And then
Well, I don't know if you bought him low because I got him I gave him away for Julio Jones and Brandon Cooks, both who were Julio was a top 7 wide receiver. I think he was even like receiver 6, one spot
I am
behind AB
fairly
on the year.
certain that Antonio Brown had more points than both of them combined since after we did the trade.
Maybe after
Yeah.
that
Right, which is all that
game,
matters.
Which skewed
Well,
And
that
Julio
skewed
got
everything
banged
and
up.
happened in the championship game. Okay, moving on. I'm going to continue. So, first round, Antonio Brown. Second round, Gronk. The only guy I didn't trade all year, I think, that I drafted, and who I viewed as the
I
cornerstone
asked you,
of my team. And I won a championship never trading Gronk and taking him in the second round. So, there you go.
Yeah, it's funny because I tried to buy Gronk low from you, thinking he would, go off later in the year, and you said no. I think he's like a staple of my team, and it turns out that he was because he was a staple of what your team used to be.
My biggest
compared to what it was later in the year.
I don't think my players would have played as well if he wasn't cheering them on all year. So there. Then
the bench,
also
yeah.
second round drafted AJ Green over Devontae Adams, which was a stupid move. Yeah.
Genius.
Much to Kyle's delight, not that it mattered. And then I jump all the way to the fifth round, and I drafted Rex Goathead, the Burkhead.
Stud muffin.
Followed that up, and he was my RB1, by the way. RB2, Isaiah Crowell in the fifth round.
Oh, man.
And then,
Oh my gosh! In the fifth round,
my wide receiver 3.
Oh my!
I drafted Brandon Cooks, which ended up being a pretty good deal. Ended up trading him to Matt, though. Seventh round, Rashad Penny. Also 7th round, Sony Michel, who panned out way later in the year. 12th round, Bilal Powell. Also 12th round, DJ Moore. 13th round, Marcus Mariota. 14th, Saints D. These are all just like dumpster picks here. Also 14th, Darren Sproles. And then 15th, I had Deontay Foreman, who was out for 10 weeks, and Harrison Butker. That is like the worst team that was drafted.
I know that you were afraid of helping me, and Blake needs more help than me, there's no doubt. But don't we agree that the pendulum swung a little bit too far? I mean, my goodness. He went from that to winning the championship.
I think that's a great reflection on my skills as a manager. And no one, let's be honest, no one.
Great job accepting Julio for AJ Green for Julio and McCaffrey. That was a tough decision.
You had to offer it. You could have offered something.
Right, because I didn't offer things like that, but somehow they get turned down.
Well, maybe you should be less vocal and less of a general
Turned down for what?
D-bag in the league, and people will trade with you.
Oh no, people know you're the champion now. You, it's when you're on top that they don't want to.
You are the target.
You are now the top dog, and I shall receive the juice.
Yeah. You're gonna Evan this year, Blake. You just wait. You're gonna pull an Evan.
First to worst.
I don't think that's possible.
if I don't know if you drafted that team again.
Well, obviously it is possible, Blake, because Evan did it.
Literally, let me point out, the only decent picks I made were Antonio Brown, AJ Green, Brandon Cooks, and Sony Michel. Like 4 of my 15 were like okay.
And then AJ Green got hurt halfway through the season.
So even that wasn't really that okay. So
yeah.
And Brandon Cooks missed.
Well, you talk about bad. I drafted Alex Collins in the 3rd round.
Did you really? Oh my god.
Yes.
Honestly,
yes.
I really liked that pick too at the time.
I know. Kyle's like, I really wanted him.
I was super high on him, but we all know how that turned out. And then I picked up JJ in the 6th round because I was like, oh man, that's a steal.
Super high on him. Are we talking like Josh Gordon type high, or what are you referring to there?
No, higher than that.
Oh, that's like a floating.
It was I pictured him being an RB1, Blake.
Wow, that is very incorrect.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, moving on. Kyle.
We all had our fair
Matt,
share.
what is what you learned this year?
I I learned to never give up and do what's necessary. So I started out 2-6, right? And there were times in there where I was like, man, I gotta keep going with this team. I mean, I got some studs on my team, right? I mean, I had like Kareem Hunt, I had Dalvin Cook at one point. I had Antonio Brown, and then I decided like if I don't make the playoffs, then there's no point in like keeping these studs. So I had to look at my schedule and see who was ahead, and I ended up doing that trade with you, Blake. That looked stupid at the time. Like, I felt super sick after I made that trade. Antonio Brown and Kareem Hunt for Julio, Sony Michel, and Brandon Cooks. But that ended up being the right thing for me in the long run, because obviously Kareem Hunt got, let go by the Chiefs toward the end of the year, and Antonio Brown wasn't doing anything for the time that I had him, and so that gave me more depth at the position. What?
He did something for me.
Yeah. But anyway, ended up getting to the championship from 2-6, and honestly, I look back on the season and I feel bad that I didn't win, but I don't feel like too bad because I fought my way back from 2-6 and ended up making it to that championship game, and that's a win for me.
It was your best finish ever. It's hard to it's hard to be upset with that, whereas I had my worst finish ever, so just saying.
Tied for worst.
Hey Matt, what do you call second place?
I think it's called. I think you just said it.
First loser.
No, I think you just said it.
It's a victory.
In that it's called second place.
It's I call it a fulfillment of my New Year's resolution, Blake. That's what I call it. But next year, I'm coming after you.
I think we all need to
the
conspire that when
see.
Blake drafts this awful team again, we need to conspire to all of us not trade with him under any circumstances and let him play with that team.
Because we've all seen how Blake drafts. If just no one trades with him,
it'll be so funny.
We'll be discussing the draft coming up and possible ways around that. So.
What? You're just gonna push your trades through regardless?
Okay. So Matt, would you like to move on?
We need to make a change. We need to make a change.
What a great segue.
So we're gonna talk about the 2019 season and what we'd like to change about it, potentially going forward. Thank you, Britt.
That sounded.
Oh my god!
I can barely.
We can be the change.
I can barely understand what it was.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
That's funny. So who's going? Blake, you go.
I'm gonna go run through a brick wall right now. Okay.
You won't.
So, couple ideas for me. One is I think we should for sure do, and another change that I'm toying with as winner of the league. The first is that I think we should have the lowest scorer of each week spin the Wheel of Water on the Wheel of Water app, which is those videos we've posted in the group me. Kyle, you still owe me one, probably two now at this point.
Do I really?
Yes, you do. From week 4.
So I feel like Matt owes me one too, honestly.
I think he does. Yeah, I think that's right.
I do. Doug Martin freaking fumbled.
So keep an eye out for those. But anyways, I think that would be fun. Kind of encourage you to not suck. Not that we can sometimes help it, but. And then the other idea I'm toying around with is doing an auction draft this year instead of a snake, just to switch it up. Not really decided on that yet, but I think it could be fun. The only thing I don't like is that eliminates off-season draft pick trading.
And I think it hurts. I think it's bad for those of us who don't follow it as closely as we do. Like, you can screw up your team a lot by paying $100 for a player and then running out of money and spending them on terrible people. But if you just pick best available in a draft, and don't trade your picks like crazy, you'll probably end up with an okay team.
Yeah, but I think sometimes that doesn't always come to fruition. Like, look at my dad's team all year. I would have said is the least talented team in the league, and yet he found a way to win 5 or 6 games.
Because he did best player available. You're kind of making my argument for me at a snake draft.
But I'm saying you could very easily draft his team in an auction after you spin up huge for one player, and then just have minor players.
If you know what you're doing,
right?
Yeah,
right.
Because
the problem is that's what I'm kind of arguing, that people won't get those diamonds in the rough, and then
we'll see. We'll get,
because those don't happen.
But it's up to you.
I'm not going to make that decision. I'm going to get input from everyone in the league before I do that, because I do also like the off-season draft pick trading. So I'm a man of the people. Yeah. I'm the commish.
Yeah,
so.
a Phillip Lindsay or a Kenny Galladay or a Chris Godwin are really hard to come by, just based on the draft. So I think you're kind of singling out the people that don't know as much in that way too, because they're not going to know who to pick, and it's going to be
the year we did an auction. Kyle, was that the year you won?
That's the year. That's the first year that I played.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, we should do that again.
No, you were second. No, you were second. No, you were second place the first 2 years, right?
I don't know which year. Did we do it the second year, or did we do it the third year?
I think you lost to my dad that year. We did it the second year.
Oh, then I lost. Yeah.
I think that was the year that I had the stupid good record. That was my first year playing fantasy football, and I had Devontae Freeman and Ty. I think I had
that's
Ty.
That's kind of proving my
point,
though, that you don't always have to know everything. And a lot of times I find people that know less are a little more conservative in the bidding, and then they get all the mid-tier players.
I did have Kyle help me along though that year too. Not in the draft necessarily, but and I had you helping me along with Devontae Freeman, Blake.
Yeah, shut up.
Best trade of my life.
Well,
anyway.
We'll discuss it though, but I'm just throwing the idea out there so you guys can kind of marinate on that for a while. So, Kyle, what change would you make this year?
I'm all about. I think one day we need to get rid of kickers, but I'm not going to go so drastic and be a radical. I just think we should nerf kickers. So let's say 3 points for every field goal.
It's nerf or nothing.
And no more near 20-point or 20-point kicker games. And I also will contend that let's not take -1 off of missed field goals. So that'll kind of,
Right.
So that you're not getting 0 or -1.
I agree with the 3 points for all of them. I think you should be punished a little bit if you pick an inaccurate kicker who you think is going to kick a bunch of field goals.
Okay, well, that's not...
It's kind of a game situation thing, too, because if a team is desperate and they want to kick a 50-yard field
or 60.
goal, they're down by 3.
Let's say it's the end of halftime and they get the ball just across midfield, and they're like, you know what? Let's just try a 65-yarder. We know our guy's not going to make it, probably, but let's just do it anyway. Somehow you get docked a point for that?
Yeah, but I think that increases the variance in scores and fantasy. So
I'm not opposed.
Yeah, and
anything that makes them lower.
Little, left up to chance as possible.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. But
I am all for the 3 points thing, though.
Yeah, I'm okay with keeping -1, but I'm not opposed to that. Definitely want to.
But I'm not at the point where I want to eliminate
put it up to
completely, for sure.
Well,
honestly, the more I think about it, I think defenses are way harder to predict than kickers.
Honestly, I would. Well, I don't think so.
Are you kidding
the owner
me?
of the Bears defense? That's the only reason he thinks that.
Yeah, because I have the Bears
if you have a
defense.
top 5 defense.
As soon as they got Khalil Mack, I can pretty much predict that they're going to be a top 5 defense.
Yeah, but I'm saying the 5 through 15 defense every week. There's always 5 that you never would have thought.
Well, I mean,
yeah, it's just I don't know. There's supposed to be a little variance, I guess. I don't know.
We could nerf defense too. But I feel like right now I agree with Kyle. The kicker is way bigger of an issue.
Anyway.
Because that's where Uncle Brian beat me was with
Fairbairn?
No, Spencer beat me with Kaimi Fairbairn.
Yeah. So.
With his 20-point
right,
game.
Matt, what change do you have?
So I want to make this known that I have been advocating for Dynasty League for the past year, but Kyle has kind of snapped me out of it and said, I don't think we're ready for that as a league, so I kind of want to ease into it. So what that means is, what that looks like is I want to add like a keeper. So what this means is that you can like keep a player that you drafted, not necessarily that you traded for at the end of the season, but that you drafted, and then you can keep them for the next season, basically.
Ooh. I think you should be able to... it shouldn't have to be one that you drafted. It just should have to be a drafted player. Like, you should be able to trade for a guy and then keep him.
Okay.
But I'm on board. I like where you're going with this.
Yeah, we can work out the details.
Yeah, because that way then that kind of like limits activity, like there'll be 12 people that are untouchable because guys won't want to trade them.
Yeah,
so
I think it should be whoever's on your roster at the end of the year.
Yeah, well no, I don't like doing the undrafted guys because if it depends on what we're giving up, we'll have to work out the specifics.
We'll say that like undrafted guys are like always a fourth rounder or something.
Yeah, but even then, like let's say you got an Odell or a Kamara or something like that.
Well, then I think you should be rewarded for that a little bit, and I don't mind rewarding them for that.
No, let's say you didn't get him, but you traded for him later or something like that. I don't know. We'll work out the specifics later.
Yeah.
So if you like draft a person, say you draft a person like the third round, then you'd have to, or 1 year, then you'd have to spend like a second rounder to keep him, and then it keeps going up year after year, and we'd have to set up a system where that could work.
Oh, I think if when we decide to go Dynasty, this will be kind of a good way to kind of get our foot in the Dynasty door of like thinking about keeping people, but I think we just need to have a full-on Dynasty draft for when we decide to do that.
Okay.
But I really want to have a Dynasty League though. Like I 1,000% on board with that. I think that would make life so much fun.
Yeah, that's very true, and it'll keep people active during the off season. But I was thinking we could just like add a keeper every year until we think we're ready for a Dynasty League.
Yeah, maybe we do. That's not a bad idea. We do that
until we get what you can do too is like have a parallel league with even the same people at the Dynasty League.
Yeah.
So you have a redraft and a Dynasty.
Yeah, but I feel like after you have a Dynasty, then you're not going back to redraft.
Yeah, you will. No, there are certain downsides to Dynasty too, and that if you have a sucky team where you go all in and then lose out, then you're, basically worthless for another year. So I think it's also good to have a redraft. So we'll discuss that later.
I think asking. True. Yeah, but I do want to say I think asking people to play in 2 leagues.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Not everybody's into it as us.
So Blake, we all want to know, we all want to prepare so that we have the best draft pick possible. What is going to be the deciding factor?
If it is a non-auction.
Yes, assuming it's not an auction draft, what is going to be the contest to decide?
Are you all aware of what the Thunderdome is?
I'm guessing you're not talking about Mad Max.
I'm not.
Nobody leaves the
Go
Thunderdome.
watch Mad Max 3, and then...
That's what I was going to say. Is that
that's an idea.
Cage fighting till the death
Basically,
thing?
yes. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Yeah, I'm all
That's
for
a
that.
reference, I guess, for Uncle Brian and Dad, who are the only people old enough to have seen that when it came out. No offense, guys. No offense.
I already bulked up, so I got a lot of meat on me. I'm ready.
You're just gonna sumo everybody.
Basically.
But yeah, all kidding aside, I'm thinking about doing March Madness bracket. I realize that that's pretty random, but I think that's like 2 weeks long of
idea.
engagement that would be really fun for the league, I think.
And I think, remember, it's supposed to be random.
Right. Right.
So that kind of fits.
Right. So I think that would be fun. And then I'm also thinking about either some kind of contest that we all can compete in, not obviously at the same place, same time, but like whether it's some kind of physical challenge, like for instance, like running a 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably not that, or like, a free throw competition.
Or bench
something
press
like
or
that.
squat.
No. And then the other one is a competition. This is one I've heard of online before, but going to Chuck E. Cheese, like, say you have $10 worth of tokens, and you see who wins the most tickets with that.
I'm all on board.
I think that would be so freaking fun.
That sounds. Well,
that's my vote.
It kind of look weird for a bunch of guys to just go into Chuck E. Cheese and.
No, I don't care.
I do not care.
All right.
And Joplin people, we could all meet up at the same time and go do that.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to go in our location, but I have to go up to Houston.
Further up the road.
Yeah.
And wear a wig and.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
So those are kind of what I'm toying around with right now. We can put a poll out just to get your guys' votes because once again, I'm a man of the people. And then moving on to the punishment
So just recapping, we got NCAA tournament, physical challenge, going to Chuck E. Cheese, and then
or other suggestion if you have a good one. So
right. So we'll put up, leave a comment on the video or in the group chat about what you guys think would be the best. Do it in the
group me. No one looks at the YouTube thing.
Right, except me. But anyway, so Blake, what's the punishment going to be for the 2018 loser / 2017 winner?
Well, I could have given you a better drop, more realistic drop if you would have asked.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm still working out the soundboard.
Got some ideas, many courtesy of Steven. Shout out Steven. One that I really liked is that Evan has to wear a North Carolina pin in his suit or tux at his wedding. And Evan, for those of you that know, is a huge Duke fan.
So just a little
Zion.
pin. It doesn't have to be like a
huge, through his but
anything.
it's visible. Yeah, but it's visible on his suit. Another one is that he has to wear a North Carolina T-shirt or uniform and sing the North Carolina fight song on Facebook Live. And then another is that the next Thunder game he goes to, he has to wear a KD shirt or jersey. Which may not happen anytime soon because I think he only goes once a year, but that would be hilarious. Or just in a Warriors one.
Yeah.
And then if he, another one, if we don't use the bracket to pick our seeding for the draft, he has to do a Facebook Live video of him picking North Carolina to win it all and wearing a North Carolina shirt, which would be pretty savage. So those are some ideas. Thank you, Steven. If anyone else has suggestions, I'm all ears because, we need to make this good and make him never want to lose again. So
right.
Yep.
So yeah. That's the. I guess Caleb still needs to do his punishment.
Yes, Caleb
too.
has to do his punishment. Evan will not do his until he does.
He told
that, so.
I'm like, you just have to sing the national anthem at the draft, and he's like, I'll do it in the street. I was like,
What?
okay.
Would you rather do in the street?
Okay, yeah, like,
Well, he's coming down on Saturday, so I can make that
oh
happen.
man, yeah, I'll send him with some patriotic stuff. We'll go.
I'll have him wear the North Korean flag.
No.
Blake will not let you poison his innocent mind like that.
No. We don't want
I'm
Caleb
joking.
put on a legit watch list at 15.
Or literally shot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. He's going to Texas. You never know.
Yeah.
All right.
Galveston
Well,
is
boys.
different.
This has been the beginning of a beautiful off season. Guys, check out the next episode. Like, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and most of all, as Robert Downey Jr. said. One sec. What's happening? Oh my gosh!
Still working out the kinks. of
I'm
the
an
off-season
idiot.
for
I had,
everybody.
yeah. This is.
Hey, well,
this is-
don't forget to visit
Hey,
our Patreon
you need
page.
to make that-
Don't fund me page.
Make that a drop.
Send us that quiche.
You need to make that a drop. I am an idiot.
Oh wait, actually, I do have an idiot drop.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Well done. Well done.
All right. Anyway, as Robert Downey Jr. once said.
Maybe a little bit too long there.
A little bit. All right.
All right. Peace out.
All
All right.
See you
Adios.
guys.
Survive.